Sup? Hello everybody, I'm finally here and the debut is finally ready after, you wouldn't believe, but it actually has been almost 2 years since I've been planning this one. So needless to say, I think it was about time that this thing happens. So, I am Ken Mido, and on my artist name you'll know me as Nightingale, which is what I've been active on Twitter so far. I don't plan on hiding that. I feel like people will be able to still find me from previous connections and whatnot. So hopefully that will be a easy way to connect me to this new persona that I'm gonna be, so to speak, working under. Now, let's start into the introduction. Just position myself here, that should be fine. And let's see. As I said, the name is Ken Mido. My age is 26. I am, again, not planning to hide that either, because I feel like that will probably help you connect to me a little bit better. I don't like it when VTubers just hide their age for, I don't know, no reason. I mean, of course, they sometimes reveal it, but, you know, still, I don't want to pretend, I guess. And my birthday is on the 9th of April, so I am an Aries boy. Aries, I don't know how to pronounce it actually. I'm not native English, if you didn't already pick that up from my accent. I am 180 centimeters on the clock, and that is, let's see. Yeah, I don't know what it is in American terms. I'm sorry, I maybe should have looked it up, but yeah, just know it in metric, that's fine. And as for languages, I speak English. That's pretty much by now speak it better than my own language, but which is Hungarian, but I'm still probably gonna stumble here and there. And I have learned German, so ich kann ein bisschen Deutsch sprechen, aber meine Deutsche ist sehr mittelmäßig. So yeah. And as for Japanese, I am actually learning that right now. So that will be better as we go, hopefully. I am not even on the beginner level, so N5 is still yet to come, but I intend to learn that on a at least average conversation level. As for the other things, let me just quickly do the second one. Oh yeah, if you're wondering what my shirt says, I actually include there. It's a kind of stylized way of saying Ken in Japanese hiragana. And as you can see, I have audio visualizers working, so that kind of reacts on the voice that I speak with rather. Likes, let's see. So I do like exercising, I like moving around, and I actually have trouble not moving around. If I have to stay in one place, it's actually worse for me than just actually moving, you know, running or even just walking somewhere. Drawing, well, I'm an artist, so you can probably see that on my Twitter if you look back there. I do like playing the guitar and I like singing, but my voice is not that great. However, I do hope to improve that in the future. You should probably expect some karaoke streams, hopefully, even though it's probably not gonna be archived given the, you know, copyright stuff and whatnot. Guitar streams, I'll try to do. It's not easy. I did get a device. I can't really show it. It's basically like a converter that lets me plug my electric guitar into the PC through some machinery. I have no idea how it works, but if I can get to work, then guitar streams will be possible as well. Dancing, I am Timberto, meaning that I am not good at dancing, but I like dancing, and I actually plan on starting a new type of dance, which is gonna be swing. I think it's called Eastern swing of some sort, I don't know exactly, but doesn't matter. And of course gaming. I mean, let's be honest, every VTuber likes gaming. If you don't like gaming and you're a VTuber, your options of what to stream are quite limited. Not saying that there aren't VTubers like that, but you know. And then dislikes. Uncool people. Well, how do I describe uncool people? Well, let's say you know that little saying where, you know, everybody should be free to do whatever they want as long as they don't bother others. Well, everybody not agreeing with that are kind of the uncool people. You know, so just as long as you want to do something, even if it's, you know, I guess a bit embarrassing for yourself, it's fine. I mean, you know, maybe you make some people laugh at least, but, you know, as long as you don't mean any ill will and you, again, don't bother anybody else, I think that should be fine to do whatever you want. And then slimy stuff, yeah, that's including anything, food, animals, and just, you know, the soggy food that you accidentally grab when you put your dishes in the sink. Yeah, that sort of stuff, I can't bear it at all. Next up, we've got the goals, and let's see. If you ever ask any artist whether they are satisfied with their art or not, if they say, yeah, I'm completely content wherever I am, I don't need to improve anymore, they're lying. And that's true for me as well. I want to get better at art, and I don't think I'll ever not want to get better at art. That's just gonna be a constant state of mind, but I am happy with my art. You know, I feel like I'm doing well, and while I do know a lot of issues that I still have, I feel like I'm on a way to get where I want to be eventually. Finish my fantasy comic. I'll probably talk about that later, but that's a bit too long of a comic topic here for now. But I have a comic called Soul Matter. It's a fantasy kind of shonen, I guess you could call it. But yeah, that's about as much I can say for it for now. Well, learn Japanese, as you saw already or heard already. I am learning, so I need to get better. I want to go to Japan at some point, and I want to be able to not be a mumbling idiot when I go there. I want to actually be able to speak with people at least somewhat. And well, the last point is kind of obvious. I am here because I want to entertain you, and that's the basically main point that I want to get through here, is that hopefully it's gonna be a comfy place, or at least a, you know, good vibes place to be on my streams. And yeah. Also, if you're wondering what the little guy figure is, that's basically my spirit animal, is Guy Sensei from Naruto, because he's just the kind of guy who always fires up everybody's spirit. So that, yep, there you go. As for a little shout out for everybody who helped make this happen. First of all, my life to the rigger, Dane, you can find him on Twitter. I drew the model myself, and but I have no idea how to use rigging software, so he was kind enough to help me, and he was very patient. There was, again, a lot of back and forth with this model, but I'm quite happy with the results so far. It doesn't mean that I'm not gonna improve in the future, but, you know, here we are for now. Actually, let me show the full model while we are here. It's pretty much the best opportunity for it, I think, right now. So this is the full model. Can you see it properly? That's the question. Also, let me see a little bit here. Okay, that's probably a bit too small. Give me just a second. There we go. That should be fine. So this is the model. I can move around slightly, but my body is not moving much. However, I can make it so that I have a controller for gaming, and I have a pen for art streams, and I can actually move it around, and it follows my mouth. Sorry, not mouth, mouse. The cursor, which you can't see right now, but just believe that it's following my cursor. As for the other stuff, I do have a few other things, but I should probably zoom in on that to show. Let's see. I've got a few different ways to change my glasses. I can remove them if I want to. Hello. I can make it so that the glasses have transparent eyebrows, sort of. Well, there you go. If you want to see my expressions a little bit better, but I usually prefer it without it. And then I also have a sad expression, even though I actually can do fairly well with the expressions just on the default face. I mean, look at my eyebrows just moving around, like, I feel like that's good enough of a range for a base. And I can be angry, I guess, even though I don't usually use that. Back to the showcase. We've got Justin, who has been doing the musics for me, and yeah, the musics that you have seen in my so far released videos on YouTube, all of those were made by him, except if I of course credit somebody else in the description of the videos. But yeah, Justin is very talented. He's a very kind and very good friend, and he can do a multitude of different genres, but usually you'll see funk, Eurobeat maybe, and other similar sides of music from him, because that's just a side of music that I like to edit my videos to. Next up, we've got the questions arriving from Twitter. Thank you very much for everybody who was submitting questions. Let's see, can I zoom in on it a little bit? No, I cannot. That's fine. Let me just quickly position myself a little bit better, because I feel like I'll be needing that. And about here. There we go. So, what are your stylistic inspirations? For that, I quote first of all my friend from Hungary, Fekete Daniel, who is the author of a comic called Széles Mosoly, translate that to Wide Smile in English. It is sadly not in Hungarians, but the style of the comic itself is very cool, and his drawing style in general was a big inspiration from me for pretty much over 10 years by now. As for anime, I do play Blue Archive, and MX2J, I for some reason always call him M2XJ for whatever reason, but no, MX2J, he is the artist of many of the characters, and his style is really good because it somehow blends simplistic with detailed very well. It's kind of hard, I've still trying to figure it out, but I definitely want to be able to draw like him. And last but not least, we've got My Hero Academia, which is probably the anime style that I prefer mine to compare it to the most. It has anime style, but it has a decent enough level of realism for, like, you know, muscles and anatomy and whatnot, which sadly I feel like a lot of animes lack. You know, I feel like when arms are just basically sticks, and whenever you see a torso, it's just basically a navel and that's it, and just a column and nothing else. I can't really go with that. I always like to add some detail to my anatomy, so My Hero Academia does that pretty well. Next up, how are you doing? Well, that's a great question. Thank you very much. I'm doing fairly well, even though I'm a bit annoyed that YouTube preventing me from streaming it when I actually wanted to. And what are your top 5 games of all time? Well, let's start with Fallout New Vegas, which is easily the one that comes to mind first. I love role-playing games, and Fallout as a universe, to me, is probably the most favorite one I can think of. And if anybody asks any Fallout fan, what is your favorite Fallout? Fallout New Vegas will likely be the one that they'll come up with first. Well, what does New Vegas have? New Vegas has a bit of everything. The only thing that it kind of lacks is a functioning engine, but I mean, you know, you can make it work. So you know, it's whatever. Then we've got Team Fortress 2. I've been playing it since 2013. That's when my friend recommended it in high school, and it's just one of those games that stood the test of time and stood it really well. It's going strong for almost, like, what, 16 years now? I think it's gonna be 16 years old this year, and it's stronger than ever, actually. I wish there was not that many bots, but the content that comes out of it, especially like the animators, is just chef's kiss, really good. Then we've got Grand Theft Auto, and actually, if I had to choose one solely based on the, you know, single player content, I actually would say that Vice City is my favorite GTA. But since 5M exists and I play GTA on PC anyway, then I have to say GTA 5, because the groundwork that it has is just really amazing for all the modders out there, and I really enjoy the racing servers, for example. Next up, we've got Dying Light. It's still impressive to me how they managed to do parkour in a game this smoothly. And, you know, people will say, oh yeah, but it's jank in times. And yeah, it is jank at times, but overall, you're still gonna be a really fun experience with the parkour mechanics and the zombies and whatnot, even if the story is not the strongest point. You know, it's still a really, really good game. And last but not least, one of the most feels type of game is Ori and the Blind Forest. I don't think a game ever made me cry, but Ori was actually the one that managed to get me to. The story is simple but great. The visuals are absolutely stunning, and the music is just stellar. It's just a really good overall game, and was it Game of the Year? I actually don't remember. I should have been. Anyway. And then a few notable mentions, because I tried to go for a top 5, but I couldn't. I love Stalker. If you probably know that, you know, what it's like, and you wouldn't be too surprised about that if you saw me Fallout being top first on my list. Spore. It's a really, really old game of mine that I played, but, you know, it's still a fun, jank little game of game for the times, I guess. Elden Ring. I did play other Souls games as well, but Elden Ring is just it's just so good. The world, the story is well, story is a bit convoluted, but you know, it's still nice, and just the replayability, I guess, is just all really good. And special mention is Terraria. I don't usually like games like Minecraft, but Terraria is the exception. I really like Terraria, especially with others. Next up, do you have a favorite anime? I try to not go into as depth in anime as in games. I do have Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood specifically. That's probably my favorite. It has a bit of everything. It's got a bit of humor, got a bit of story, well, a lot of story actually. It got a lot of action scenes. It's got everything, right? It's just a perfect, balanced, good anime. I like it. It's really good. I recommend watching it if you haven't. Konosuba, I don't think I loved on any other anime as much as I did on Konosuba. It's really good, and not just for the humor, but I guess just the general It actually surprisingly has a very well built world as well, which is, again, you wouldn't expect from a parody series basically that just parodizes isekai anime. But yeah, it's just really good. And initially I had to pick it because of how much influence it had on me in terms of style and whatnot. Again, I like Eurobeat, and initially it's just a very clenching anime. Even though you probably know that the protagonist will win, it's still just a really good anime to just sit around. And yeah, it can be slow at times, but that's kind of the fault of how the times that it came from. You can't really fault it too much for that. Next up, do you have any tips for aspiring artists? Let's see. I want to show you my art from basically exactly 10 years ago. This is when I started, so to speak, thinking of art as something that I want to chase as even a professional level if possible. This is me drawing Sasuke in a posh rapper style, yep, and it's with the 2003 paint. You can probably see the pixels still. And then 5 years later, this is a character design that I did for my comic. It's still not great, but you can already see that in 5 years I could do a lot just by the sheer motivation. Because, I didn't really wanna appeal to anyone until recently. Like, only recently I started doing, so to speak, fun art. Up until then I only did stuff that I wanted to. And I feel like that would be something that I can recommend to artists, is that do something that you feel invested in. Do something that you want to be doing better, right? So if let's say you come up with a character, right, you want to do that character as good as you can. You want to give it nice details, you want to do it with good anatomy, and so on and so on. I feel like that's giving you enough motivation for you to keep you going. And then if you want to see decent arts, again, just check Twitter. That's probably the easiest place to go to. Again, just you can do a lot with just being motivated, I guess. Motivation is important. No, that's not inventing anything new, I guess, but that's just my take on the whole thing. And then we've got 2 more questions to go. Who is your oishi, which, if you don't know, in Japanese means delicious. So I guess it's meant to be a little bit of a pun here. So I'll say the favorite food that I have, which is, well, surprise, surprise, a Hungarian cuisine. It's called the golden dumplings, and it's basically a type of almost like a bakery product with walnut and sugar, and you bake it with the walnut and sugar, and after you're done, you put a very liquidy kind of vanilla pudding over it, not pudding shape, but like liquid, sauce substance. And if you did it well, then the dumplings will sort of soak up this vanilla, and it's just the perfect harmony of different tastes. It's lovely. But yeah, come to Hungary and try it out for yourself if you don't believe me. And last but not least, who is your Oshi? And I guess this thing, yeah, the people I look up to, especially VTubers. So I actually did pick VTubers. If I wasn't limited to VTubers, it would be here all day. I picked 4 of Hololive members, even though I don't only watch Hololive members. Ina was probably the first one I saw. She was the one to get me into VTubers in general. She's very talented. She's very comfy, and she's just overall a really funny personality, and I adore her for that. Oli's never-ending enthusiasm and energy is kind of what I hope to also be able to keep up with, I guess. And she's just very lovely in general as well. Always a good friend you can count on. Fauna, she is actually her gamer. Her gamer skills are the ones that get to me. She can be really talented at games that she, really commits to, which is kind of funny when you think of her general personality being just kind of comfy and whatnot, but she can be really try-hard. And Vesper, well, he showed me that you can be a VTuber at any age, at any mindset. He is nothing like me, but I can still admire him, and I can value his what he brings to the table, I guess. And he's very funny. I like his humor. And I guess that's pretty much it. Alright, everyone, I'm signing off for now. Keep your chin up and your spirits high, and tune in again next time.